Hey everyone, in this spiritual BS series, we'll be covering various concepts, subjects, and notions that are commonplace in the spiritual community that I just personally find utterly garbage, and for that reason I will place them in the right framework of understanding so that we don't misstep or mistake somewhere on the journey. Because trust me, I've spent years going in the wrong direction and even going in the right direction, but then being misled somehow or getting caught in the traps of this spiritual journey. So with this series, I just want to clarify a few things and perhaps bring some light to the words that we use and the meaning and implications of these words, because they can have huge implications that might last years or decades to get over because we just adopt them, these beliefs, and we don't question them. And so this video is going to be about letting go. We've all heard the phrase, I'm sure, to be told to let go into something, to let go into what is, to let go of something that we're clinging to. And most often what I understand from this phrase is to really let go of our thinking, our sense of self, our limited belief of who we think we are, so that we are able to experience the vastness of what is right here. And that is all very fine and good up until the point that you come to realize that you are not able to let go. Because when you're told to let go, you're told to perform an action. And when there is the sense of a doer, something having to do, perform an action, this sense of self arises. And if the sense of self is what you're trying to get rid of or transcend, get over, you cannot employ the sense of self to get rid of the sense of self. You cannot solve a problem at the level at which the problem arose. I hope that is very clear to everyone out there. So when we are trying to let go, we're trying to force something. At least that is the belief or understanding that I, in my early days, adopted. And I was not able to do it. I thought maybe there's something wrong with me. Maybe I'm not able to let go because I'm clinging so hard. And yeah, you could say that is true. That is true. But what I came to find after a while then is the phrase of letting be. What about letting things be as they are? And that I found much more easeful. That was not as forceful because, yeah, I mean, I can just let things be as they are. And you know what happens to a muddy lake when you just leave it be? Let's say you have a little pond of water, right? And you stir it up, and all the soil from underneath the little pond is just swirled up and makes the whole water cloudy. You cannot go in there and grab onto it and try to still the water down. No. What you do is simply let the water be. It's as simple as that. When you just let things be, they will calm themselves down. When you, let's say, have an emotional reaction in yourself, and you don't try to push it away, you don't try to get away from it by moving your attention somewhere else, by ignoring it, so to speak. I mean, that can work in some circumstances, but let's say you just allow it. You just allow it to be and observe it. Because when you offer no resistance to something, you give it space and you gain clarity. You're able to see it for what is. And then it's able to be released. Not by you releasing it, because you have the tendency to cling on, right? But you can observe the clinging itself and be like, okay, this is going on. And just be like, that's interesting that is going on. And slowly, just by watching, perhaps not, it might be released. But the importance is that you're not fixated on its releasing. You're not selling yourself out. You're not relying. Your integrity is not dependent on something being let go of. You can be with whatever it is without having to push it away. And that is freedom. That is the first step of freedom, isn't it? If we think freedom means to be free of all trouble, no thinking, we have to clear the mind completely, we will never succeed, I'll tell you that. You will not find a spiritual teacher, a genuine spiritual teacher, who will claim that they're just free of worries, free of trouble in their mind, that there's never any obstacle that they encounter. No, of course not. I mean, we're human beings. That's part of the human experience. So, just as we are already on this topic, abandon that belief too. Freedom is not complete blankness. It is not the void. It is not void of anything. It is to be in full allowance with all that is. So, we've covered letting go. We've covered to let things be, to allow them to be as they are. But even this allowing things to be as they are is also an intermediary stage. There is an even deeper level which I will also cover, because awareness, that's with which you know this experience right now, is not in opposition to anything. Whether your current experience is peaceful, happy, joyful, chaotic, full of suffering, perhaps you feel hatred, I hope not, whilst watching me. But if you're feeling all these various emotions or experiences going on, it's all allowed. And in the much the same way, I want you to sort of view awareness as a screen. Because the screen itself doesn't care, it doesn't mind what the movie is displaying. I mean, you might be watching a horror movie, or you might be watching a romance, and the screen itself, it doesn't judge. It doesn't have any opinion or care about the contents of the movie. And awareness is exactly the same. It is not invested personally in the contents of experience. And what does that mean? It means that awareness allows any and all experiences to be exactly the way they are, without having to change, without having to fixate on or bring about something else, exactly as it is. And so that is the highest level, as far as I'm aware, to my knowledge and my understanding, that awareness has this integrated quality of allowance. It doesn't require you allowing it, because that is also a degree of doing. But there you can notice that this experience is allowed. It simply is allowed, because if it wasn't allowed, it wouldn't be. If God, if the intelligence of this universe didn't allow this experience to be, it would not be at all. And I'm not sure, I'm not accepting necessarily that everyone is going to understand this, because it might require that you just sit in deep contemplation and reflection over this very notion. And just watching calmly if there really is anything that can be in opposition to awareness. And when we realize that there can be no opposition to awareness, there will be the quality of peace present in your being as well. And that was the whole point of wanting to let go to begin with. That was to bring about a sense of peace. But instead of trying to bring about, notice the quality of peace. that is already present in you as awareness. That is my gift to you. Give it to yourself as well. I'm so happy to share these videos. I recently launched a spiritual life coaching program on Fiverr, and if somehow you feel inspired by my work, you feel inspired to work with me, I very much urge you to check out the link down below, where you will find all the information enclosed. And I just wish you all the best on your journey. I hope to see you next time. Bye.